Some people ask the question that if the Khalifa ever can make a mistake, then why do we follow him with such reverence? This question stems from not fully understanding the role of the Khalifa.
If there is one thing that you should learn from this video, it is that the Khalifa can never make a mistake that harms the Jama'at.
We should remember that Khilafat is something that is distinctively unique as compared to all other types of religious leadership. And what can be said about other leaders cannot be said about Khilafat.
The very existence of Khilafat means that it is commenced through the hand of God Almighty. Its very existence proves that it is divinely guided at every turn, every step, and every decision.
This is something that we don't make up. This is something that has come from the Holy Quran.
Allah the Almighty states, Allah has promised, He will surely make them successors.
It is possible that the Khalifa of the time makes a mistake in personal matters, but in matters on which depends the physical and spiritual progress, even if he commits an error, Allah the Almighty safeguards his Jama'at and somehow makes him aware of the error.
To be honest, we don't even need to worry about this, because the very point of Khilafat is that the community of the believers are safeguarded from going astray.
Any command that the successor of the Prophet of the age gives you will be good, and there is no need for anyone to try and discern whether it is maruf or not.
The Khalifa can never make such a mistake which causes harm to the community of believers. Again, this is not something we merely claim, but there is strong evidence for this in the Holy Quran.
We find the example of Prophet Adam alayhi salam in the Holy Quran, who too has been called a Khalifa. Now his mistake did not cause harm in the long run. Rather, Allah the Almighty said that whosoever obeyed the guidance, there would be no fear on them.
And whilst we're on the topic of fear, it should be noted that the very verse on Khilafat, also known as Ayat Istikhlaf, has the well-known words, وَلَا يُبَدِّلَنَّهُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ خَوْفِهِمْ أَمْنًا, meaning that fear shall be turned to peace. This can only mean that through Khilafat, difficulty becomes ease. So the entire question of whether the Khalifa can make a mistake is void.
What we should also remember is that the task of the Khalifa is the same as the task of the Prophet. In other words, the Khalifa simply continues the efforts of the Prophet.
In the Holy Quran, one of the tasks of the Prophet that has been mentioned is yuzakkihim, which means that he cleanses people, he purifies them, or he does their tazkiyah nafs, which means personal reformation.
This means that the Khalifa of the time has such insight which can cleanse the hearts of his followers. He stands at a station whereby he can see above and further than anyone else. He is the best person to guide.
In the Holy Quran, we find Allah the Almighty says to Prophet David alayhi salam, Ya Dawudu, inna ja'alnaka khalifatan fil ardi, fahkum bayna an-nasi bil haqq.
O David, we have made thee a successor in the earth, so judge between men with justice. If one of the roles of the Khalifa is that of a Qazi, then it means he is naturally the best arbiter whose decision everyone accepts.
The Khalifa is guided by God. That is something we should always remind ourselves. So it is not possible that someone who is God-guided can ever harm the community of believers.
Now the history of the Jama'at is proof of this. It bears testimony to this. If this community was led by someone who was not divinely guided, it would have ended a long time ago. The very fact that the Jama'at continues to grow and that the prophecies of the promised Messiah ﷺ continue to be fulfilled and more people continue to enter its fold despite all manner of opposition is proof that the hand of our Khalifa is strengthened by God Almighty.